My name is Irina Temnikova, and we have co-authored this paper with Duan Poyukli and Francis Boone. Duan is here, but Francis no. So since we are using Fran's system, if you have any questions related to his system, we may not be able to answer to them. As you see, the paper is about the first steps into implementing a social media dashboard in the Sahana Eden system. And this is the structure of my presentation. I'll first present shortly the work done, the team involved, the idea. Then I'm going to explain you our motivations. Some details about the actual implementation we did, the results we got, some ideas about our future work we would like to pursue, and at the end the references used in this presentation. So the work was done during the previous H4D2 hackathon, which took place in Aston University in September 2012. So it's only 2 days of work, actually practically a day and a half. You will see that that's not very much done, but we obtained interesting results and we plan to continue working on that. And since the results were interesting, we decided it's useful to present them to the general public. The idea was, actually my idea, because I'm a computational linguist, was to see whether language technologies can help somehow in crisis management, and to include them into real-world application. The team members are a crisis management system developer, Fran, who is missing. He exists, but he's not real here now. So the emergency management practitioner, which is Duan, and I'm the computational linguist. I have worked a little bit in the crisis management domain, on text in this domain, so this is my contribution. So the idea, as I said, it's only 2 days of work, so it's in a very beginning stage, and the idea was to integrate different types of messages like SMS, email, Google Talk, and tweets into the Sahana Eden system. Then the idea was to filter messages by topics using language technologies. What do we mean by that? You'll see later. Then to prioritize them somehow, and at the end, this functionality to be available for disaster managers via the Sahana Eden system. About Sahana Eden, this is an open source software platform developed by the Sahana Foundation. Its aim is to provide information management solutions for disaster management. It is highly configurable for different disaster situations, even during a disaster. And it has been used in several situations, like the Haiti earthquake, the wildfires in Chile, and by several organizations like the Asian Disaster Preparedness Center. You can see more information on their website. Our motivations are that obviously there is need of intelligence on emergencies for taking decisions of what kind of response to take, and the standard channels are not enough, so it's good to obtain information also from additional ones like the social media. Also, we know that we are aware that there are current social media initiatives tracking social media, but many of them are manual, and there are some also automatic ones, but they are not publicly available, so that's why we had to re-implement something ourselves. So this is the related, these are the related tools we are aware of, which are automatic. The tweet incident, also Project Epic at the University of Colorado, they developed some kind of automatic tracking of tweets. University of Sheffield did something using machine learning, and I don't know about the standby task force. I heard maybe that you are planning something.
There's a whole bunch of tools we've been using for this. There's a whole bunch of tools we've been using.
Okay, and maybe you can, yeah. Okay, and now what we actually did, let me tell you more details about, more technical details about the Sahana Eden system, besides what I said before, which is just what is it used for. It is implemented in Python, uses Web2Py, and it's built around a rapid application development framework. So what we did during this very short time at the previous hackathon was to develop some user requirements, what a crisis manager would need in terms of information about a disaster, then the message filtering functionality and the message prioritization. I will talk separately about them. The user requirements are developed on the basis of practical experience and some main reference works. And represent workflows showing decision-taking steps plus the necessary information for each step in each moment of taking decision. It is developed in a way to be flexible, to reflect different types of incident, levels of incident, of levels of complexity, and the resources needed for them. We actually, so this is done in order to reflect three types of accidents, human-made ones, like you see in this case. This is actually a screenshot of the beginning of the workflows. You see, so power outage is purely human-made one. Natural, like flood and fires, which can be both human-made and natural, and the idea was to take different cases which reflect different origins, so to have accidents of different nature, to see what whether our system in the future would be flexible enough to be adapted for all these types of accidents. About the message filtering. So we based, we are talking about Twitter now, right? So our main work during the hackathon was based on Twitter. We didn't work on SMS, emails, and etc. So about Twitter, we decided to use both hashtags and keywords. Keywords, by keywords I just mean words, you know. We decided to use keywords also because we noticed that several times hashtags are not used literally. So people can often talk about disaster without actually meaning a disaster. Or earthquake, for example, earthquake occurred in my room. They don't really mean that there was an earthquake, but it's just not tidy. So for this reason, we decided to include also keyword search, which we called linguistic features. So about the message filtering, the idea is that, okay, we will extract tweets which have hashtags or keywords related to disasters, but the problem is actually how to extract exactly those which talk about disasters. So what we used was to use Python. As I said, also Sahana Eden is actually implemented in Python. The natural language toolkit is a Python kind of toolkit for processing natural language. So they have many tools inside and resources, etc. And WordNet, which is a linguistic resource, which practically is a terminological resource with synonyms, relationships between words. And from this resource, using Python, we starting with some seed words, we extracted their synonyms. Like for example, for the word earthquake, we extracted earthquake, quake, and trembler, and seism. And this is practically a screenshot of the WordNet website. It can be also searched online. And you see that if you input a word, it gives you all possible synonyms. This was about message filtering. So the message filtering was practically to recognize which tweets talk about disasters and which not. So we can only take the tweets which talk about disasters. The message prioritization is now that we have the tweets which talk about disasters, we decide which ones are more important for a crisis manager and which ones are not. So we based our prioritization on four things for the moment. First is the type. So tweets are less important for us because they can also contain irrelevant information. Why SMSs are sent when a person is really sure that there is something happening. Sender depends whether sender is trusted or not trusted, whether the tweet mentions a location, because location is very important for tracking disaster. And mode, so it means that whether the tweet contains a link to any image, because images are more useful than text in understanding what is real the situation.
Sorry, how did you figure out whether the sender is trusted?
Yes, so for this is actually not implemented yet, but the idea is that we will have lists of senders which are trusted. This is for the future, so this is actually...
Quite always very happy. Place in country we trust.
Oh.
Okay, this is France's idea, so I'm kind of I don't know much about that, so I'm the linguist part. All right, and these are the results. Some of the results we got these screenshots of the results in the system, and you can see that here you got. So priority practically is calculated on the basis of all the previous things we mentioned. So whether it contains a keyword, whether it contains a location, etc., whether it's a tweet. And the actual tweets, you see that these are the results for earthquake. So you can see the earthquake both. I'm not sure. Maybe also in the hashtags and as a keyword. Dates and posted by whom. And as future work, because I told you it's a very little bit of work done because it was we didn't have much time. But as future work, and we continue working on this now, our plan is to resolve part of speech ambiguity. It means distinguish nouns from verbs. So, for example, the word fire, if you use it like this, it can mean to fire somebody, or the fire as an event, and also to remove words which are used in a non-literal way, synonyms which are used in a non-literal way, like ardor or fervor, which are not related to the disaster terminology. In addition, we want to make more Twitter filtering based on Twitter. In this, we would like to follow the University of Colorado approach in like number of retweets, number of followers, and their growth over time. What we plan also to do is to have some way of categorizing messages by types of events. So if you have earthquake, they are all going from on one way. If you have floods, on another way, etc. So we need proper terminological resources for that. And finally, we need to do some proper evaluation to see how good is actually our approach, and we will do this in the future. And that's all. These are the references I mentioned, and these are our contacts. If you want to contact any of us and ask maybe Fran about the details about his system. And yeah, that was all.